Football fans know that most of the managers we see today managing some of the top teams have once been football players themselves, so they know the game inside out. But what if I told you that there is a manager who has not been a football player before? He had everything he could ever wanted and was very rich and become a top team manager. And not only that, he won everything with the club as well and just left as he was bored out of it. Yeah, if you could have already guessed it, we are talking about Andre Villas-Boas, a real-life royalty. As you might have noticed, I said real-life royalty, but you might wonder why. Well, Villas-Boas is the second child and eldest son of Luis Felipe Manuel Henrique Duvail Peixoto de Sousa e Villas-Boas and Teresa Maria da Pina Cabral e Silva. He's also the great-grandson of Dom José Gerardo Cojo Vieira Pinto de Vale Peixoto de Villas-Boas, who was the first Viscount of Guillemil. But royalty and rich people usually have some family hobby or activity, but these people weren't into regular stuff like football. They liked motorsports. But Andre Villas-Boas, even though he was from a wealthy family, loved FC Porto Football Club. When he was 17, he broke his arm and got bored staying at home. That's when he met Bobby Robson, the manager of FC Porto. Despite his family not liking football, Andre was obsessed with FC Porto. So he'd wait for Robson every day by the elevator to talk about tactics. Robson was impressed and invited Andre to Porto's training. He even helped Andre get a coaching licence, even though he was way too young. But convincing his parents to let him skip college and move to England was tough. They didn't like the idea of their son working in football, as working in football was a bad look for royalty. However, Andre finished the coaching course quickly and started working as an analyst at Porto, alongside Robson and Mourinho. But that didn't last long, as the duo later moved to Barcelona. Wondering what to do, Andre saw an ad in a football magazine for a job as the director of football for the British Virgin Islands. He was only 21 but got the job, even though he didn't know how amateur the football scene was there. He did well, leading the team to victories against some other small teams. But a big loss made him quit and go back to Porto, where he begged for a job as a youth coach. He stayed at Porto until 2003, the year Mourinho arrived. This time, Jose Mourinho arrived as a head coach and offered him a job as his scout. Andre basically would sneak into other teams' training sessions, take notes and give Mourinho all the information. With Villas-Boas helping, Mourinho's team dominated again. Andre learned a lot from Mourinho and planned to do something similar one day, aiming to win big like Mourinho did with a team from outside the top leagues. By the time they reached Inter Milan, Villas-Boas was Mourinho's right-hand man. He was involved in every decision Mourinho made, but Villas-Boas wanted more control, so when Sporting de Braga needed a coach, he tried to get the job. Unfortunately, Braga chose someone else, and he returned to Milan feeling disappointed. At this point, Villas-Boas and Mourinho's relationship was strained. Villas-Boas then left for Académica, a mid-table club in Portugal. Many doubted this move, but it turned out to be a game-changer for his career. When he joined Académica, the team was struggling at the bottom of the league, not having won a match in 5 months. But Villas-Boas turned things around. After 9 matches, they lost only to Porto and Benfica. By the end of the season, he led them to the 11th place, far from relegation and close to the League Cup final. Suddenly, Villas-Boas gained attention as the rising star of Portuguese football. Like Mourinho did years before, Villas-Boas had an agreement with Sporting CP, but Porto swooped in and took him as their new manager. Now, about how he transformed Porto. When he met the team, he showed them a video of their rivals celebrating a championship. It fired up the players, giving them the motivation to win. He made some big changes in the squad, selling club legends like Bruno Alves and Raul Meireles, which surprised many. However, he brought in talented players like James Rodriguez, João Moutinho and Nicolas Otamendi for relatively low fees. But it wasn't just about new signings. Villas-Boas improved the existing players. He took the team's core and elevated their performances. Players like Fernando, Guarin, Rolando, Alvaro Pereira and Helton became even better under his guidance. Hulk, for instance, was inconsistent before Villas-Boas arrived, but with his coaching, Hulk became incredibly reliable, contributing to goals in nearly every game he played. Falcao and James Rodriguez also excelled, showcasing remarkable performances with numerous goal contributions in a limited time. Porto became a dominant force in football, especially outside the top 5 leagues. Under Villas-Boas, they assembled a team that intimidated everyone. In the league, they were exceptional, winning 27 out of 30 matches, drawing 3 and never losing. It was a feat only achieved once before when Eusebio was playing. They also set records for points and the largest lead in the league, finishing 21 points ahead of the second-place team. Their victories against rivals Benfica were memorable, including a 5-0 win that sealed the league title on Benfica's turf. This upset Benfica so much they tried to spoil the celebrations by turning off the lights and blasting sprinklers. Adding to their achievements, they set a record for the biggest win in Portuguese Cup final, triumphing 6-2 against Vitória. This made it a nearly perfect season, but their success didn't stop there. In the Europa League, they continued their dominance. They defeated strong teams like Genk, Cervela, GSKA Moscow, Spartak and Villarreal. Falcao, their star player, was instrumental, scoring a record 17 goals in the competition. Villas-Boas made history as the youngest manager to win a UEFA tournament, leading Porto to a treble. Later, he joined Chelsea for a record fee of €15 million, but dubbed as the Special Two. However, despite high expectations, Villas-Boas' time at Chelsea didn't go as planned. Before leaving Porto, Villas-Boas had already hinted at a lack of long-term commitment to football. He revealed that his deep passion for Porto made leaving extremely difficult. He felt more like a fan than a manager and couldn't imagine having the same passion elsewhere. Ultimately, his move to Chelsea, while financially motivated, couldn't replicate the emotional connection he had with Porto. Upon joining Chelsea, Andre Villas-Boas underwent a noticeable transformation. However, his time away from Porto wasn't smooth sailing, and many factors contributed to his struggles. Villas-Boas felt let down by Abramovich, Chelsea's owner, who had pledged support but allegedly failed to deliver. Promised signings from Porto like Hulk, Falcao and Alvaro Pereira didn't materialise. Additionally, Villas-Boas aimed to bring Luka Modric to the team, but was hindered by financial constraints, with Abramovich limiting spending to €80 million, far less than previous managers received. Despite the financial limitations, Villas-Boas managed to secure notable signings like Mata, Lukaku, Mireles and Courtois. However, internal issues brewed within the team. As Villas-Boas sought to revamp the squad, senior players resisted the changes, undermining his authority and disrupting team harmony. The lack of player support and pressure from fans, who compared him unfavourably to Mourinho, led to a downturn in performances. Chelsea's play style became lacklustre and unexciting under Villas-Boas. The dissatisfaction eventually cost him his job, with the club opting for a change in management, resulting in the unexpected Champions League win under Di Matteo, shortly after Villas-Boas' departure. His move to Tottenham initially showed promise, with the team narrowly missing out on Champions League qualifications and witnessing Gareth Bale's incredible development. However, the subsequent departure of Bale to Real Madrid disrupted Villas-Boas' plans. He tried to rebuild the squad with multiple signings but faced difficulties, eventually leading to his departure from Tottenham. Reflecting on his career, Villas-Boas admitted regret for not taking opportunities at Real Madrid or PSG. He continued his managerial journey with Zenit, achieving success in European competitions, before later managing Shanghai Port FC in China. However, his passion for football dwindled, prompting him to retire at the age of 41 to pursue other interests. Following managerial stints in Russia and China, Villas-Boas announced a break from football management to pursue the Dakar Rally in 2018. Unfortunately, during the rally's fourth stage in Peru, he crashed into a sand dune, injuring his back and had to withdraw from the entire event. Despite his setback, he later participated in the Badger TT du Pinal in 2018, driving a Can-Am Maverick X3. Returning to club management from 2019 to 2021, he took charge of Ligue 1's Marseille. Despite his Dakar Rally mishap, Villas-Boas continued racing in 2022 in the WRC Vodafone Rally to Portugal, describing the experience as a dream fulfilled since he had watched rally since childhood. Expressing his excitement about rallying, he mentioned his passion for collecting prestige cars and his desire to own a rally car. He recalled his initial uncertainty about which rally car to choose, and eventually obtaining a Citroën C4, previously owned by Loeb, though it required rebuilding. While exploring his love for rallying, Villas-Boas hasn't ruled out a return to football management before 2026. He expressed interest in coaching a national team, indicating his openness to a potential managerial comeback.